Good evening, folks, and welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday to everybody. So today, I want to talk about why I went with electrostatic speakers, specifically these Martin Logan speakers. So how I found out about these Martin Logan speakers was through Twitter. I don't know if you folks remember Twitter back in the day used to sell the high-end stuff that we all love today. So my Saturdays would be like this. I would get up in the morning, I would go down to Twitter and just sit there and just listen and look at all the beautiful gear that they had. And, at the time I couldn't afford a lot of that stuff, but it was nice to see. So I would be down at Twitter, like I would be there for an hour, sometimes 2 hours, just sitting there. My wife would be wondering where I was. I was like, I'm still at Twitter. So one day I was there. I went there on a Saturday and I went into one of the rooms and I saw these funny looking speakers. I was like, what are those? I don't see any tweeters. I don't see any mid range or drivers or anything like that. You know, one of the sales guys came over and said, these are Martin Logan's. I said, oh, okay. And I left. So the next time I went there, I went to one of the other showrooms in the store and I saw the same kind of speakers, but the difference was these were much bigger and taller. And I was like, wow, what is this? And at the time they were showing Lord of the Rings. And so that sales guy came over and I said, hey, can you play me a demo? So he put in a scene from the Lord of the Rings and he turned that thing up and I was like, wow, oh my goodness. These speakers are something else. I mean, these were the clearest speakers I've ever heard in my life. Like the clarity, they were so fast and just tight bass. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I saw, I was like, well, I can't afford these things. So one other time I went down there and then I saw these smaller but similar unit speakers. And I remember they had some like Krell amplifiers. So they had a Krell CD player and they were playing some music. And the sales guy, he told me to stand in the main listening position. And then he turned up the music and my jaw dropped because I said to myself, wow, these speakers sound like I'm listening to studio monitors because I did some recording back in the day. So I knew what studio monitors sound like. The speakers didn't sound colored. It was tight and just very fast. The transients were very fast with these speakers. And immediately, right then and there, I fell in love with the electrostatic speakers. So to answer the question, why did I go with electrostats? The first thing is these speakers are sexy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. They're gorgeous. The wife loves them. They aren't obtrusive in the room. They fit into the decor. I akin these to some fine pieces of furniture. I remember when I brought the Martin Logan's home, usually I can tell if my wife likes something or not. She'll give me that look. But this time she was like, oh my goodness, I like these things. And the thing about these Martin Logans is that you can see through them. They're transparent or translucent. And it has the nice cherry wood panels. So I like them because of the looks. They're beautiful. Other reasons why I like them is the fact that these are what you would call line source speakers. It means that the entire panel emits sounds equally. It also means that the sound drop off is less because of the line source. You can get up close to these speakers. So the other thing about these speakers is the crossover point. There's only one crossover point, and it's between the panel here and the woofer. And I believe they cross over at 450 hertz. So compare these to a point source speakers. Point source speakers, you have a two-way, three-way, where you have your tweeter, you have your mid-range, and you have a woofer. In order to have the sound blend, it has to cross over from the tweeter, the mid-range, and the woofer. And as you know, anytime you have to cross over, there's always that risk of, you know, imperfection with the audio. Well, not in the case of the Martin Logans, because the entire panel here is a single point and it only crosses over there. And that actually is how sound is in real life, is that there is no crossover point in real life when you hear sounds. The other thing about these speakers is they're not room dependent. They're not room dependent in the case where you need to worry about room treatment. And the reason is this: they have a narrow dispersion. It means that they're focused. So when you angle them to the main listening position, you don't get the floor and the ceiling reflections. You also don't get the first reflection sidewall reflections with these because of the narrow dispersion. I believe it's a 90-degree dispersion. All right. So the other thing about these speakers is the fact that they use a thin film. It's a diaphragm, and they're wedged between these looks like grate, these perforated metal. They're called stators. And the film is lighter than the air that it moves. And what the result of that is that you get a much faster speaker speed. The transients are very quick. And I don't believe there are many point source speakers that can keep up with these. So these speakers are excellent for watching movies. They're excellent for rooms that aren't really treated with a lot of acoustic treatments. I mean, my room is treated with, regular furnishings, curtains, and things. And this speaker fits in very, very well. I love these speakers. I've had these speakers, these Aeons over here. I've had these probably more than 30 years, and they sound the same way they did when I first picked them up at Tweeter. I just love them. I love them equally for movies. I love them equally for music. The imaging, I mean, the clarity, just effortless speakers. So just wanted to make a video to showcase these speakers. Appreciate all the support. I would appreciate, if you would subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thanks, and happy Friday.